All right, what's happening, folks? What is going on out there in the YouTube land? What is cracking? I'm waiting on a few more people. I usually start when there's four to seven people in here. So yeah, what is happening? All right, yeah, we got about seven people. All right, what's happening, everybody? What is happening? So yeah, I got some stuff to talk about today. So what's going on, Ian Robinson? How you doing, brother? What's going on out there, Thomas? Is that Thomas Hand I see there? Yeah, what's happening? Game over. What's happening? So what's going on, Dark Side Havoc? So that's right. Church is the door is always open at the church, and today the church will be busy as we'll be doing this podcast, possibly getting on 60 frames no lag with Porter Rock 77. And and friends, and then late tonight, possibly a quick cameo on Triple Cup Chuck's podcast, and we're gonna be talking about Black Panther. His podcast doesn't jump off to like 11 p.m. Eastern time though, and I gotta work in the morning, but I'm definitely gonna jump on there, even if it's just for about a half hour. So that's the plan. So, and in huge news for the Foxy Games UK show Sunday. I don't know if I got to work Sunday or not, but if I don't, that will have Fame 2K and Tim Dog. They are scheduled to be on that podcast. So check that podcast out. Even if I'm not there, that'll have J-Dub, Tim Dog, Dark Cloud. That's lining up to be a huge more. Am I going to do more Elite Dangerous? Yeah, I haven't done Elite in a while. I jumped back into Mass Effect. The reason why is because shout out to Fatal Mephisto. He made a good point on how to look at Mass Effect Andromeda. And when I started looking at it like that, and then something I did do, if you play Mass Effect Andromeda and you unlock all the secrets, the Ryder family secrets, if you unlock all of those and then you wait for the you wait for that to play itself out, you find out the reason why they left Andromeda is because of the Reaper invasion. They confirmed it. Whereas where BioWare made a mistake was that they didn't put that into the lore. The reason why it wasn't put into the lore for Andromeda is because BioWare did not have enough time. So to make the game needed 6 more months. 6 more months. I think if they could have gotten 6 more months on time, but they would have had a different type of game because the combat is really good. But for the most part, the planets are empty because they did not have time to put the stuff in that you were supposed to have. Like, how Monster Hunter, how you can go out and you'll add things to your town and stuff like that. Like you can do, Monster Hunter and other types of real-time strategy games. You were supposed to be able to do that on Mass Effect. Like different planets were supposed to have different resources. So one planet you could have put a scientific post at, another planet was supposed to be more commerce, and you were supposed to have different ports. Different ports were supposed to offer different things. They had a bigger game in their mind, but they ran out of time. EA had spent a ton of money on that game, and the people kept leaving. EA kept interfering. But overall, back to my original point, the reason they left Andromeda is because of the Reaper invasion. And actually, it actually tied it in pretty nice. You get 2 different letters or different vid calls from Dr. Liard to Sony. Now, doesn't explain how Liard to Sony is able to contact you from across, the Great Void. But the Reaper invasion starts, and it talks about how they're building the super weapon, i.e. the Crucible, and it talks about Shepard, how he's leading a team on the Normandy with really good soldiers, and they have a chance to push back, but she didn't think it would work. So, and she was contacting you as the shadow broker. So one thing that they left out, everybody thought that the benefactor was the elusive man. That was kind of the Mass Effect lore. That's what we thought going in. Very good chance the benefactor was Liara. It could have been Liara because Liara had a lot of money as the shadow broker. And that's kind of what my new theory is that because the last thing you hear is her voice saying that, you know, goodbye from the Milky Way for, you know, because we don't know if we're going to be here. So, yeah, Halo Storm Liara. I mean, it just occurred to me when I was listening to the thing. It's like, well, why am I hearing from Liara? You also hear from Garrus's dad. And you remember that Garrus told Shepard, you know, he told his father what was going on, and he thought his father would just kind of laugh at him. And Garrus's father is one of the people that helped put the Andromeda Initiative together. Now, why? Here's another thing. Remember, it shows now. Here's some things that don't make sense. So that made sense. Here's what doesn't make sense. Okay, the Andromeda Initiative, those arcs, they leave from Earth's orbit. Okay, that's where they're at. You know, it shows you going to the arc and all that kind of stuff. There's 4 arcs there. So how did they keep that secret from the Alliance? That to me makes no sense. But again, they may have been able to done some kind of connective thread if they had more time. But they did not have much time. What's going on, young competitor? They didn't have as much time. But it made sense for Liara to be the benefactor because as Shadow Broker, she has unlimited resources. She can keep information hidden, and she's rich. I mean, she's rich. She's a Shadow Broker. So, and it's that, and she has a whole network. So, and that to me, and she is the one making contact with you from the Milky Way. But you get 3 different things from the Milky Way. You get a distress signal called it's just called the Milky Way emergency. But you get an SOS about threat conditions, Saber, Earth under Reaper attack, which is what, if you go play Mass Effect 3, that's the message that Hackett sends out. It says Earth under threat conditions, Saber, Reaper attack. Palaven is being attacked. And Garrus's father is killed. You hear the Reapers just, you know, attack. You hear the big Reaper horn that they have, and then you have had the message from Liara saying that you're on your. Matter of fact, the last message you get from Liara is the message after you leave Thessia in Mass Effect 3. So, you know, so yeah. And again, as a Mass Effect fan, you're right there, Andrew. You know, you're right. Well, you're right, Uncompetitive. I'm sorry. It was developed in a sense that with the Ghost Riders in the Sky trailer, when everybody saw that trailer, it was all CGI. I don't know if you all remember it, but that was a concept trailer. That wasn't gameplay. Everybody thought within the Mass Effect community, we thought that was gameplay. Okay? That's why when we saw the game being played at was it I forgot, it was not EA Play, but it was some type of event they did with NVIDIA. When we actually saw the game being played physically, they showed space travel, everybody was like, well, this doesn't look like what we saw in that trailer. You know, when he just hits the planet, then it shows the funneling through, you created a wormhole to get to the planet. Everything else turned out what they thought. They initially, again, had a lot of success with the Frostbite engine as far as the planets and things like that. But they couldn't program, they didn't know how to program assets on the planets. That's why like the creatures and a lot of the events that are happening on the planets, they just happen over and over again. You go past a Ket stronghold and you wipe everything out. If you go back 10 minutes later, they're right back there again. You know, because it wasn't supposed to be like that. But that's all they knew how to do with the Frostbite engine, they being BioWare. They developed the first 3 Mass Effect games on the Unreal Engine, which is cinematic. It's a cinematic engine, but it's, even though it's cinematic, everything is right in front of you. It's just like Gears of War. Mass Effect and Gears of War are cousins. They run off the exact same engine. That's why when you play Mass Effect, you have the exact same SWAT turns that they have on Gears. Now it's not as fluid as Gears. Let me make that clear. The Mass Effect engine is fluid. So let's just call a Mass Effect engine. It's Gears of War's baby brother, okay? Because it's not as vast as that engine as far as things on the screen all at once, but it's much more cinematic. That's the difference in those two engines. And it's the same engine, but you got two different companies programming. So they're both cinematic. The cutscenes on Gears of War look really good. The cutscenes in Mass Effect looked really good, you know. So yes, but procedural generation uncompetitive, that's what they were going for at the original concept of the game. If you go back to E3, was it E3 2015 maybe? When it showed you the concept that they were coming up with, it was going to be procedural generation. You know, so, but when all those guys left, like Casey Hudson left, a bunch of other people, they all left. And when those guys left, they had to come up with what they came up with. If Casey Hudson was still there, there's not a doubt in my mind that he would have went to EA's offices and said, we need more time. And they probably would have given it to him because Casey Hudson's got that kind of gravitas. Matt Walters did not have that. You know, so Matt Walters gave us the game we got. That's why, again, even you brought up No Man's Sky. Look at the creatures on No Man's Sky. Then look at the creatures that are in Mass Effect. It's the same thing because they were using the same kind of algorithms. So, but that's what happened. Nevertheless, that's what happened. So now, would it have been better if the Milky Way races had left? They left not knowing about the Reaper threat. Now, to me, it would have been better if they left knowing about the Reaper threat. That to me makes more sense. Okay, that makes more sense than anything. And to me, that's what they should have done, but they didn't. They didn't, and because they didn't, a lot of people reacted negatively. So and a lot of people played through Mass Effect, and when they found out about the whole Ryder family secret thing, they didn't like it. They didn't like it. Okay, but it's because they were upset at how the game unfolded, which makes sense because it shows everything. It shows him. It shows the Sam node being transferred to you from your father's eyes. It shows your father learning about the Reaper threat. That to me was center. That should have been why they went, because they never said why they were going there. It never said it. And then for only your Pathfinder, and to me, every Pathfinder should know about the Milky Way Reaper threat. But it was like Ryder was the only one that knew, because you don't get to bring it up during the course of talking to the other Pathfinders. So again, that to me would have made more sense. It would have tied back into the lore. And again, by the time you get the message, it's already happened. And they basically say it was a one-way trip anyway. Because what you're going to do, go back into stasis, come back for 600 years back to the Milky Way. So, but, it is what it is. It's over with now. So, there ain't going to be, I'm not going to get another Mass Effect game. Before I got her, fine. Andromeda ties in. I've always said to people, what's the best time to play Andromeda? Well, you now have to play Andromeda after you play the other ones, because you don't know or you can play Andromeda before you play. It's like you can play Mass Effect. You can play Mass Effect up to the Mars mission. Mass Effect 3, play up to the Mars mission. After the Mars mission, go ahead and save your game for Mass Effect 3, then start playing Andromeda. I mean, that makes sense. That's the best time to do it. So, yeah, I did see the Deadpool 2 trailer. Yeah, we'll talk about that tonight, I'm sure. So think about all the trailers that we've gotten. We've got the Ant-Man and Wasp trailer. Then you got Black Panther. It'll be out in 8 more days. So everybody's got to stay alive. No heart attacks or nothing like that for 8 more days. Then we got the Deadpool trailer. And so that should tell you that the marketing for those movies is they're unthawing the marketing. So You know, it's and you still got Infinity War to do. So yeah, we're gonna be busy here for the next 10 weeks. You know, so well up till May, because you got Deadpool comes out 2 weeks after Infinity War, and then after Infinity War, you've got 2 weeks later, you got the Deadpool, and you got the Star Wars movie, then you got the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. So it's kind of the way that's shaping up. So I'm gonna be busy for those 6 weeks. So yeah, I saw it, John. It looked pretty good. But all right, what's going on, people from the East Coast to the West Coast? Let's get this cracking. Like to say, hey, good morning and good evening, wherever you are, wherever you may be. Hello, hello. All the people in Scandinavia, all the people in Germany, Europe, you know, England, everywhere, France, the Middle East, what's happening. Shout out to Iron Wolf. I see he got his hands on the Xbox X, so that's pretty cool for him. All the people down in Australia, even the Aborigines, big shout out. Shout out to Sick Humor and J-Dub City. As before mentioned, the Ford mentioned Porter Rock 77. Foxy Games, I'm glad you're feeling better. He's still on the mend. Selena Kyle, like I said, hopefully she can. I'm trying to get her on this podcast one day. And there's everybody over the Dark Cloud. Everybody, hopefully everybody's good, having a good Wednesday afternoon. We didn't get the freezing rain that everybody talked about. We just got rain. So, but it's getting. It's going to freeze tonight, I'm sure. And of course, you know, I got to go to work tomorrow, and that sucks. So, but yeah, but like I said, Ian, there ain't going to be another Mass Effect game for years because they're still doing Dragon Age. They got to get Dragon Age done. Then they got to and then they have to do Anthem. So they have a team working on Anthem. That's why people crack me up when they say, well, BioWare's team, they're all dedicated to Anthem. I'm like, no. Only about 70% are working on Anthem. 30% are working on Dragon Age. As the game completes in stages on Anthem, they will rotate those people back into to go work with Dragon Age. So, you know. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll get started with some, first of all, so the rumor mill, Sony for sale. Okay. This broke like 2 weeks ago. And people just now are picking up on it. But Sony is not for sale. And during the first quarter, most businesses, those guys kind of all know each other. And they're kind of like, well, how much would you give me and stuff like that. And Sony is just, you know, they more than likely checked out prices for everything. But ultimately, Sony's movie and their studios, I mean, their TV shows and stuff like that, the music and all that stuff, that's staying in-house. I mean, they're a profitable company. You got to remember about 40 months ago, Sony was in junk bond status. They no longer are. They now are telling people to invest in that company. As far as invest, buy stock in that company. So, and I would assume anybody who has a PlayStation or Nintendo or a Xbox, whatever, has stock in those companies. I mean, it makes no sense for people to buy the games, buy the consoles, and then not at the bare minimum have 4 shares in the company. I've got 6 to 7 shares in Sony. I've got 25 shares of Microsoft, but I bought my first Microsoft share when I was 19 years old. You know, that's when and that's because I saw Bill Gates. I went to Bill Gates spoke here at the University of Kentucky, and I went there. And it blew my mind. Listen to this, man. And so, yeah, I went down to the World Trade Center here in Lexington, Kentucky. We have something called World Trade Center, and I bought my first Microsoft stock. At the time, it was $38 a share. Now, guess how much it's worth, you know? So, and I've got 25 of those shares. So yeah, every time, that's why I laugh. Every time Microsoft makes something, I make more money on paper. Not in real life. I make it on paper. So, like, I don't know if you saw The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, everybody's getting rich, but it's on paper. It's not real money. So it's literally paper money, like Monopoly. It's just because cash is liquid. Liquid means it can't really be. It's hard. It's hard to explain. I need to do a stock show one day. Maybe I'll do that on the Porch Light podcast. But ultimately, you should. My advice to you all is, since you play video games, invest in the companies that make the product. You don't have to invest in an EA or something like that, but you can buy Sony stock, you can buy Microsoft stock, you can, because Microsoft's always going to make stuff. So that's a good company to have your money in, okay? Because the companies that make stuff always pretty much do well. So the company that defies that is Facebook. Facebook doesn't make anything. Like, they just don't. They offer a service. That's not making anything. So they make an algorithm. That's it. So, but that's against the grain. But yeah, we'll start. So Sony is not for sale. It just they have IP. Like I said, they just finished their they did that movie called Life. They've got a movie out right now called Jumanji. Jumanji has made over $800 million. That movie is threatening to make $1 billion. It's threatening to do it. I'm not saying it will. And again, it's not a fluke. The original Jumanji that came out in the late 80s, early 90s, I think it had Robin Williams. That made a lot of money too. It's a popular idea, you know. So, you know, D stocks in AMD. Well, there's nothing wrong with AMD. I have stock in AMD. You do know that AMD is the leading chip set for artificial intelligence, right? So, yeah. Yeah, don't invest in Enron. Yeah, Enron is what, a penny? So, so, but yeah, D having stock in AMD makes perfect sense. What did not make sense is him saying that he has an inside source that said A, B, and C, because that's insider trading, and you can go to prison for that. So anybody who had stock knew that was a lie. Like, we were like, well, that's a lie, you know. So, and it just is. It's a lie. So, and it turned out to be a lie, you know. So, so, but no, Sony's not for sale. And but the reason why it's not for sale is for exactly what I just told you. And that's the truth. There's no reason for me to lie. There's nothing to damage control. You don't have to listen to me. You can go watch CNBC. You can go watch Fox Business News. You can go watch whatever. I mean, you can whatever you need to watch. They're not selling. These companies they're profitable, and Sony's most profitable making division is since they got an $800 million movie. They made that movie called Life, which I thought Life was garbage. I thought it was garbage, okay? But it made a lot of money. You know, it didn't cost them a whole lot to make that movie, and it made a lot of money, you know. So, and so they're not going to sell their stock, or they're not going to sell their company. So now the TV division, well, that could be a different thing. But there's a lot of shows on TV that are produced by Sony Pictures, but you can just look that up yourself. So, so yeah. Well, Andrew, again, he lied. I'm not here to say he's not a nice guy. I'm not here to say he's not a cool family man. He probably is, but for whatever reason, those guys really sell hyperbole as reality, and their subs believe it. That the problem isn't that they say it. The problem is that their subs believe it, and that's what's caused the problem. Now, to me, Porter Rock taking their money from them was the ultimate kind of the ultimate smack in their face. And there's a reason why on the Multiplayer podcast they've got Porter Rock and J-Dub on there. It's to bring some kind of balance. So, and ever since they lost that bet, ever since Microsoft lost, they didn't really lose, but ever since they lost to, they lost November MPD to Sony, those guys have not said anything really. I mean, really, that podcast has changed. It's a totally different demeanor on that podcast and everything. So, and that's because they got humiliated. But if that's what it took for them to change, at least they changed. You know, it's a little more levity, a little more humility, much more fact checking, and that's all people were wanting from them. Okay, that's all people were wanting, you know. So and now that people are getting it, there's a lot of people who don't like the podcast anymore because it's not the hyperbole, finger pointing BS as much as it used to be. Let me make that clear. But nevertheless, it's at least it's more factual. So and that's just it is the way it is. So yeah, once people figure out they can lie, and then you give them money, they'll keep lying. So no, I am not lying, sir. So you know, but it is what it is. So discourse fate lit. So well, yeah, but you should know, John, that that's what Crap Gamer is. That Crap Gamer has said that's what he is. And if you listen to the podcast he did with Next Gen a couple weeks ago about Game Pass, that was him being analytical. It's okay to own an Xbox. I mean, I own it. I own an Xbox. It's okay to game on your Xbox. I play some games on my Xbox too, but they ain't never gonna win. Just never. They're never gonna win. So, and if you just accept that and move and keep it moving, it's fine. There is no console war. Sony has sold close to what 75 million consoles. In the same time, Microsoft has sold, I want to say 32 million to 34 million. And like I said, the paper that I got from them, I believe said they're under 35 million. So there's a reason why Microsoft's not giving us a whole number. Okay, it's because they're not doing the number that they thought. Their shareholders would get upset, so they're going to give us user engagement numbers, which are much more higher, and that makes shareholder happy. Okay, shareholders want numbers. They don't want to hear, "Oh, we're being outsold damn near 3-1 or 2-1." They just don't. So, and it's your fault if you don't understand that Crap Gamer is saying the stuff he's saying to get a rise out of you because those guys figure that out. If we slam the other consoles and we big up this console that we like, these other people will come to our comment sections and they'll get into a fight over what's good and what's not and what's bad. Period. They figured that out years ago. That's why I'm like, knock a man's hustle. It's not their fault. They figured it out. Remember, P.T. Barnum said what? There's a sucker born every minute. P.T. Barnum said that. So stop being a sucker. Okay? Stop being a sucker. And so it's like, and again, Crap Gamer said, quote, it's, Microsoft is fine. They're doing good, but they're never going to beat Sony. Okay? Next Gen 720 said unless Sony comes out with a console that's what like they did with the PS3 and it was what $600. If Sony does something like that, yeah, that will push people back towards Microsoft. But I don't think about gaming when I think of Microsoft. I think about Windows. I think about software, not about hardware. And again, I grew up in the 80s. So Microsoft didn't have no video game system. The video game system people had were all Japanese. ColecoVision, Intellivision, Nintendo. Those are all Sega. Those are all Japanese consoles. So that's what everybody grew up playing. Then you went to the arcade and you saw American companies like Midway and things like that. And you plunked quarters into that. What's the most, Pac-Man is a Japanese game. It's still one of the most successful arcade games, if not the most successful in the history of arcades. Okay, Nintendo, I'm sure, will come out with a Pokemon game, not a Pokemon, a Pac-Man game this year or next year. All right, so it just, it is what it is. So, so with Gaming Pass is a good idea because Microsoft figured out not to be the first ones. Again, we're already renting, we're already streaming Hulu, we're already streaming Netflix, you all have grown up with that. You all don't go out and buy CDs anymore. You stream your music. You don't own the music. Okay? So, I mean, you watch Amazon, you watch all your stuff, Game of Thrones, HBO Go. Ballers with The Rock, that's on whatever. Billions with Paul Giamatti, that's on Showtime. Power comes on what? Hulu. Our Stars and Hulu. So the Cloverfield Paradox that came on right after the Super Bowl. That's a Netflix original. All right. That House of Cards, one of my favorite shows. That's a Netflix original. So we're already streaming. So Microsoft figured out nobody's buying shit. So let's just let them rent it through our service that we will charge for. That's a perfect idea. That's great. And here's why it's great. Because Microsoft went toe-to-toe with Sony, and Sony Godzilla them. Okay, they smashed them. So now Microsoft can kind of move into its own space with this digital rental service, and that makes perfect sense. Because they've got the apparatus to do it. You just use their hardware to interface with it. That's it. That's it. And the Xbox is basically a Windows platform. That's what it is. So it's just a different way for you to use their service. And that's what Microsoft wants. That's why when people got butthurt about me saying, well, I can't wait to play Forza and Gears and stuff like that on my PlayStation, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Do you really think 343 sees Nintendo and Sony with 100 million consoles combined and they don't want access to those people? Are you out of your minds? Of course they do. Of course they do. So, and Microsoft, they're going to get there. Okay, they will get there. So, and it is what it is. Like Phil Spencer has said, they want people to play the games on the platform they choose. Okay, they don't care about, they care. They want you to use the Microsoft platform, but if you don't want to, for them to keep going to these developers saying that we're going to have you keep your game out. How much combined if Gears of War came out for the PlayStation and the Xbox? Okay, it would have sold what, 8 to 12 million, maybe more. So it is what it is. So it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. But get back in the gaming. Call of Duty World War II, which is a game that nobody seems to be talking about. The first DLC hits in a couple of weeks. The Resistance Pack, so that's going to be flying off the shelf. That's a digital thing, isn't it? Your DLC is going to be digital, or the access to that. So that's going to be flying off the shelf. Sony's the leading platform for that, at least right now. That may change, but they're getting that DLC first for 4 to 6 weeks. And so that's looking to move pretty well on that. Shout out to them for that. I didn't play the other Call of Duty World War II game. I heard nothing but good things about it. So I don't know how many of you all play. It's bloody freezing. Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. It's 30 degrees here though. Like I said, I'll be making a pit stop, and after the podcast, then I'm gonna keep playing some Mass Effect. May jump on Monster Hunter. So the Call of Duty, it's already out for PS4. All right, well, that's cool. Well, does anybody plan on getting it? Nobody's talking about it. I just happened to see a commercial for it last night when I was watching TV. So, but I don't hear anybody talking about it. So, but shout out to everybody that's got it. I'm not buying it. I didn't buy. I like the other Call of Duty that came out, the Infinite Warfare. I like that game. But I'm in the minority. People hated that game. So, but again, I liked Halo Reach and Halo 4, and people were like, "Yeah, those games are terrible." You're waiting for Black Ops 4. Are they making a Black Ops 4? Dang. So, Black Ops 4. Okay, well, I didn't know that. So all right, yeah. And I didn't like Black Ops 2. Hold on, Black Ops 2. Which one was that? The one that was in Vietnam. I thought that was okay, but they did another one after that. I didn't care for that. So, but anyway, that's me though. But I'm burnt out on those type of shooters. I like Ghost Recon because it was tactical, except this Ghost Recon Wildlands was not tactical. It just wasn't. If it was, it would have been a hell of a lot better. But nevertheless, I beat that game, and that drug dealer ended up getting killed. So anyway, but so we'll move on. Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege. That's a free weekend coming up, I guess, starting Friday. Rainbow Six Siege will be free to play on all systems, on all platforms. So they're gonna give everybody a little taste of that. And this coming weekend, again, Rainbow Six Siege is a popular game online. You know, a lot of people are playing it. So now I'm a big fan of Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2. I love Rainbow Six Vegas 1. To this day, Rainbow Six Vegas 1 is my favorite first-person shooter. Okay, I loved it. It was true Rainbow Six. You know, it was tactical. You only had a 3-man team, and you were overwhelmed with, you know, with that terrorist attack. You had to use different tactics. I loved it. Loved it. So, so I'm excited about a Rainbow Six Siege being free. I don't play it because it's only online, and who wants to play stuff online all the time? That's garbage. That is garbage. You know. So, but with that said, however, it's a popular game online. I'm not a big online guy. So, but shout out to the people who are playing it. That is the news. I'll get into let me do the super sampling because I'm still trying to figure that out. So apparently, if you had part of the PlayStation update, the 5.50, I think, update, is that it's going to allow something called super sampling. So if it's super sampling, I guess it's better than regular sampling but I guess all your jaggies and stuff like that, your jagged edges, your stuff that looks rough, it's going to look a little bit better, you know. Yeah, Top Dog. I love Infinite War too, and I never played anything online with Infinite War. I just like being on the different planets and blowing stuff up. I thought that was pretty cool. So they're talking about removing wall running. Well, that's not part of the Black Ops series, so that's cool. What's going on, 809? And they should. I agree with that. That's stupid, running on the wall. But it made sense in Titanfall because it was science fiction. So, but overall, yeah. Ugh. So it's and where was I? Oh, okay, super sampling. So apparently they're able to super sample. Now, I don't know why this is such a big deal, but apparently it's going to make things look a little bit better. And super sampling on all titles and hardware on the PS4 Pro. I thought it was for the regular PS4. It's like to me, if you got a 1080p TV, this sounds like a pretty good idea. And again, there's more people with 1080p TVs. There's more people with 1080p TV than there are with 4K TVs. It's like 5-to-1. So super sampling gives you better graphics. Okay, well that's fine. I mean, again, but how? That's my whole thing. So it does that by cleaning up the edges and stuff like that. It's my understanding of something called super sampling. So, and they'll call it different stuff. They'll call it temporal temporal anti-delay. It's something they call it. So it's you have regular HD and Pro. So you should, I guess, see some type of advantage. I mean, to me, it should have already been there, but you can see what Sony's doing with their Pro, and that is they're not going to let Xbox have that much of a difference in it. Okay, they're just not going to do it. So, and a lot of the stuff the Pro can do was not tapped. Just, you know, it wasn't tapped for whatever reason. But look, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 looks really good on the X. Why? Because of the super sample. It does look clean. And you know, like I said, it will hurt your performance. Really? Well, I'm not part of that program. I was hoping I think Sick Humor, he got in on the beta. So because I thought it was available for everybody, but it's not. So like I said, I'm down in the total poll, but I'm like a big pony, but I don't even have access to their program. But you know, dag on, you know. That's how stupid those people are to say those things. So, you know, yeah, I don't have a new system update either, so don't feel bad. So how is that going to hurt your performance? Or they're just letting it look a little bit better. So you can give me a code for, yeah, that's fine. For what? Are you going to give one away for the chat? MK? Are you giving a code away for the chat? Yeah. But yeah, you can give away a code. Oh, yeah, you can give away. Yeah. Oh, for the. Oh, all right. Well, yeah, if you want to, just direct message me. That's fine. The Pro is going further beyond the Xbox. I don't know how it's doing that. So, so well, Halo Storm, they're both doing fake 4K. I'm pretty sure that I've seen more dynamic 4K on the Xbox than I've ever had in my life. So, and again, I don't care that it's dynamic 4K. So, so so it's funny. So it's amazing you don't. It's amazing how you don't call the dynamic 4K on the Xbox fake. It's the same dynamic 4K. Oh boy. Yeah. Also, it would downsample for now. All right. So it's taking. All right. It's coming from a higher plane to a lower plane. Okay. Okay. Where do you put that code in at? So what's my Twitter? It is. Well, let me find it here because I left that page. So I think I'm I think here is 456. I think that's my Twitter. So I think it'd be at that. So Sony is just increasing the push for the Pro. Oh well, I mean, yeah, and it's the problem with the Pro and the X is that they're both dependent on 4K televisions. So you know. So yeah, Thomas, he is a crackpot. The dynamic 4K on the Xbox is the same as the dynamic 4K on the PlayStation. It works the exact same way. So yeah, I mean it's dynamic 4K. So it is what it is. So I use it at the store. Okay. Yeah, you can direct message me on Twitter and then just I'll use it. But what is it supposed to do? Like clean up some of the games graphically? The games that I have are already running in 4K. So, but yeah, that's fine. So it is the same thing, Halo Storm. Dynamic 4K is dynamic 4K. It doesn't change because it's outputting. The game is still outputting the same way. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. So, which call it is dynamic 4K. I'm trying to think of a game that came out. Assassin's Creed Origins is dynamic 4K on both consoles. The difference is that the Xbox has the ability for higher textures. That's it. But they're both dynamic 4K. So and it's so Horizon Zero Dawn already has a super sampler, so it's not going to help me with Horizon Zero Dawn. So you can't DM me. You have to follow me to DM to do that. Yeah, that is what it is. So most dynamic 4K games overlay native 4K HUD. So yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. It has 2 times the pixel count in certain areas of the game, Halo Storm, not the entire game. So, okay, it's just as there's different parts of The Witcher 3 that look better on the PlayStation than it does on the Xbox. Now, I mean, it's the same technique. So, oh, Monster Hunter would. Okay, well, yeah, distributed. Yeah, I'll try it. So I will try the code. And let's see that 2 times the pixel count. Why don't we take one guess on where Assassin's Creed sold more? What console did Assassin's Creed sell more on, the Xbox or the PlayStation? So it's 1800p. Assassin's Creed is 1792 on the X. and 1592 on the Pro. So yeah, that's a little bit more. So either way, and it's upscales dynamically to 4K. It's just because the Xbox is sampling from a higher source, it has a little bit better clarity, which is exactly what Digital Foundry said. But it wasn't anything major. They also said that too. So, but all right, so that's super sampling in a nutshell, I guess, because I can't find anything major about it. I did hear like somebody was talking about Metal Gear Solid 5 and how it now does look a little bit cleaner when you're running that new stuff on it, but that's a 1080p game, so that's cool. So you have the Pro. Yeah, I've got them both too. And again, the cut scenes. Let me make this clear. Where you really see the difference in the Pro and the X on Assassin's Creed is the cut scenes. There's no doubt about it. The cut scenes, the characters on the Xbox, it has a deeper look. They have a deeper texture to them, and they should. I mean, this whole thing, dude, is I really hope you're still alive when the new PlayStation comes out, and then they're comparing that to the X, because the X came out the same. It came out a year later. I mean, I'm really trying to understand what you don't understand, why you don't get that. I mean, why is Wolfenstein 892p on the Xbox One S, but it's it's 1440p with rapid pack math, mind you, on the Pro. Those things both came out the same year. So I just don't get it. Metal Gear 5 on Pro is 1440p. Really? Okay, well, that's fine. It is? I didn't know that. But I only played like another hour of that game. It was all right, though. It's all right. But damn, it's a long game. I don't know how long that game is. Yeah, I'll just wait for Digital Foundry to tell me what the heck I'm looking at. So the X is made more for first-party games and third-party. Same with Pro. I don't disagree with that. And you notice their first-party games are all are native 4K. Their third-party games are what? Dynamic 4K, because they can't get it to native. Because they do not have they're not going to sit down and take all that time with that raggedy ass CPU. Said that dynamic 4K is all the same. Yes, the technique is the same, Halo Storm. It's not a lie. I mean, good grief. So, but if the Xbox is sourcing from a higher plane, it's going to have better clarity. That's just a reality. That's a reality. So if something is 1440p native and it's dynamically upscaled to 4K versus something is 1080p native, is going to be dynamically upscaled to 2160p. The 1440p source is a higher native source. Therefore, it's going to have better clarity when you see the display, period. That's a reality. So, it is what it is. Yeah, Fallout 4 was disappointing, but Fallout 3 was so good. But that Fallout 3 was so good, it was a classic. Let's just call it like it is. That no matter what Fallout 4 did, it was going to be a disappointing. So, well, Halo Storm is so busy trying to determine that something is better, and it's like you do realize that the Xbox came out roughly 90 days ago. Maybe it's not even 100 days old yet. So, as a matter of fact, it is November 7, December 7. It's 4 months. Is it 4 months old today? Came out in November, right? And today's the 7th. So yeah, it is what it is. And they seem to forget that the X came out a year later. And so the fact that it's able to do what it can do in comparison to something a year older is amazing. Remember, I don't know if you watched me do the my PC podcast yesterday, and I compared the i7 to the i5. And the i5, the i7 was slightly better in 2 categories, and it was immensely better in 1 category. So they compared 3 categories: gaming, desktop, and workstation. The i7 was slightly better at gaming and workstation, but for just everything else, it was slightly better. I mean, it is what it is. So, and that's this. So that's why I decided to get the i5. But it's really gotten funny that these guys are comparing a console that came out 100 days ago to a console that came out over 400 days ago. But that's how desperate they are. They're not talking about the Xbox One S that came out in August of 16 and comparing it with the Pro that came out in November of 16. And that's because they're a bunch of front row riders. So, but we'll continue. So, Shadow of Colossus. Apparently, this game is it's a remake. It's on PS4, and it's an exclusive game. So, but Shadow of Colossus has, I had it on my PC. I had it on a different channel. So, and that was at 4:00 yesterday. 4 to 4:45 roughly, and I'm gonna do another one in a couple of weeks. Now, I'm not twisting what you're saying, Halo Storm. I'm just making a statement of fact. So, but State of I was gonna say State of Decay. My goodness gracious. So, Shadow of Colossus, or SOC, that's what that means down there. It's done really well. Got a real good review. It's a really good tech review that they got on Digital Foundry. And this is going to lead me into my comment section or commentary, because it's amazing that the how much vitriol and anger. If you just go to the Digital Foundry page, forget about everything else. If you go to the Digital Foundry page that tells you about the game, the remake, they did their tech analysis on it and stuff like that. And they say it's a really good build and stuff like that. That's the conclusion they came with. How much vitriol and anger that the Xbox fanboys in the comment section have for that game. And this is going to lead me into my commentary, because and shout out to Gamers United, who I'm trying to get back on the podcast. He's got that little scorpion thing in his name. So, but he's got some other stuff going on right now. So definitely thoughts and prayers are with him. But he said something a year ago on a podcast, on his podcast, and he was nice enough to come on mine. He said that the Xbox community bought Xboxes thinking they were going to get all these great games, and they're not getting them, so they're lashing out. Now, that went over my head. Let me make that clear. That went over my head. But this is what it is, because think about it. They're the same cats. Okay, let me make this clear. The same cats that were bragging about Forza Horizon 3 getting a 4K patch, which is fine. I mean, Forza looked good anyway, And I'm talking about Forza Horizon 3. They just got their patch, about a month ago? And so they get their patch about a month ago, or a month and a half ago, and these clowns are bragging about it. Are the same people so that's fine. That's what they got. They start bitching because Shadow of Colossus for the PlayStation comes out. Again, gets a upgraded build, gets patched, whatever you want to call it. Everybody says how good it is. I mean, again, Digital Foundry said that Forza Horizon looked really good. They praised that build. Digital Foundry says Shadow of Colossus looked good, praised that build. The same people that praised the Xbox build bitched and moaned about the PlayStation build. Now, what's the difference? Okay, there's one word: access. Okay, as good a build as the Xbox X version of Forza Horizon is, not as good as a PC build. So no matter what happens, no matter what Xbox does, there's always going to be a device that plays the games better, that will have better performance on a PC. that will have better graphics and particle effects on PC. Okay? Shadow of Colossus is not on PC. You can't get the game on PC. Not yet. Now, maybe tomorrow they announce it. But as of right now, as my words are talking to you, coming out of my mouth, you can't get Shadow of Colossus on PC. And it's driving them effing crazy. It is driving them effing crazy that they don't have, because think about it. If Shadow Colossus was a timed exclusive for the PlayStation, let's think about if it was timed. All right, let's just say PlayStation only had that game for 6 months. They would not be acting the way they're acting because they would have access to it. They don't have access to the games. And because they don't have access to the games, they're going effing crazy. I mean, they're just going nuts, and so that's what this has always been about. And what happened was the PlayStation community wasn't smart enough to understand, okay, they're going to beat you over the head with our games do this and our games do that, but you don't have access. I got access. I can play Forza. Okay, I can play Rise of the Tomb Raider. I can play the same game you got if I have a PC and get a better performance. I can play online. I can play every game at 60 frames per second. You can't do that. You're locked in. They're locked in. And not only are they locked in, no matter what they do, they're going to always have the second best version of that game, of said game. Okay? They will always have the second best version of said game. So, so it is amazing that the lack of access has driven them crazy. Okay? They don't have access. They can't play Shadow of Colossus on Xbox. So they can't do it. Can't do it. Can't win with it. So it's what is it? Well, you can't go to, why are they saying things like that, Savage? Even it's a lie, so don't worry about it. And asking Halo Storm to be objective, he can't do that himself. He thought 1440p and 1080p were like the same thing. So, he doesn't know how to be objective. So you can't look to him to be objective. Okay, you can't look Crack Gamer to be objective either. I mean, that's not what they're online to do. So what I'm saying to you all is that the lack of access has driven them crazy. Because realistically, why do they care that Shadow of Colossus is a good game if they don't have access to it? That's why. They rather have access to it and not play it than not have any access to it at all. It is driving them crazy that they don't have access to it. So, I don't worry about the blue spanner. So I mean, it's just, and that's what the problem is. So when they make their comments are coming, they're lashing out, they're angry, so it's just they're upset, despite Assassin's Creed looking better on the Xbox, it's sold better on the PlayStation. All right, that's a reality. Despite Monster Hunter having a better performance overall on the Xbox in their performance mode, it's sold better on the PlayStation. So, and despite Digital Foundry heaping praise on Forza Horizon 3, which is fine, the fact that they heap praise on a game that they don't have access to is not that they heap praise on it. They heap praise on a game that they don't have access to. Therefore, they lash out against who? Digital Foundry. And you had a guy literally say, oh, I couldn't sleep last night because Digital Foundry gave Shadow of Colossus almost a perfect score. Well, if you go back and look at the history of Shadow of Colossus, it's always been a popular game. I mean, I'm not playing it. I'm still playing Monster Hunter, so, but, that's the game I bought instead of Shadow of Colossus. Now, I'll get Shadow of Colossus in May. Yeah, a lot of fans are loving it. So yeah, see Top Dog and Forza Horizon 3, the best build of that. I saw it. My neighbor built a PC and he's got Forza Horizon. That game running 60 frames per second. It's already a good game. So it's already a good game. It was already maxed out, whatever you want to call it. It was built, balls to the wall for the Xbox. It's a first party game. It was a 1080p 30 game, open world. It's a really good game. Again, Digital Foundry heaped praise on it with the 4K patch that it got, which is fine. Let me tell everybody that's fine. I think that's really good. But the fact is that if you build a PC, you could play that game at 1440p, 100 frames per second with high settings. I mean, you could, not that you would, but you could. You could play at 1080p, 140 frames per second. So, not that you would, but you could, and then have it in ultra settings. So, I mean, that's a reality. And then you run that next to the Xbox version of the game. It's going to blow the Xbox version away. So what this has come down to is it really just comes down to them not having the same access to the games that you got, because you got access to the multi-plat games and a great exclusive lineup of games that they will never see. They will never see. So, and that they're going crazy. Therefore, it can't be. What do you think they're going to do when MLB The Show comes out in a few more weeks? How do you think they're going to react to that? Because MLB The Show is already, it is already okay. Crackdown's not canceled, so it's not canceled. So and and so yeah, it's the crackdown's not canceled. So it may get delayed, but I don't think they're going to cancel it. So, but no, you don't have to answer any questions, Xbox guy. You truly don't. Okay, so things are the way they are, and there's nothing you can do that's going to change it. So, but ultimately, that people are upset and they're angry because they don't have access, and that's it doesn't matter what it is. It's you can apply that to a lot of things. People who don't have access, they get upset, they lash out. The anger, they lash out. So, and they're lashing out because of lack of access. I mean, again, because they're bragging about Forza, okay? They're bragging about they're bragging about Forza. Oh, look at Forza! Look at all the praise and look at they're heaping all this praise on us. This is lavish, and here come the doves and the flowers, and the sun is so bright. But when somebody else gets the same praise heaped on them, they get upset, and they get upset because they don't have access to the same games. So, and there's no reason for them to get upset, because when they bought the Xbox, they should have known you're in a limited ecosystem with the Xbox. You are. Doesn't mean the Xbox is bad. This means you are opting for a limited ecosystem, because Microsoft wants you to play those games on PC anyway, because they own the PC market. They run that lane, so yeah. Well, I mean, it's not a matter of him he may be a real good gamer. It's not about that, Andrew. It's about he represents the people that are lashing out. I mean, it's stupid, Like I said, they're a bunch of front row riders, and it's we're going to be riding in the front row. Here comes they're going to heap praise on us for this game. They're going to heap praise on us for that game, But when another game gets praise heaped on it, minus Nintendo, they let the Nintendo stuff go. And again, they don't have access to the Marios, to the Breath of the Wild, the Zelda Breath of the Wild, and all that kind of stuff. It's scary, but it's stupid. But remember what Gamers United said. They bought the Xbox thinking they were going to get games like this, and they much rather have those games on that console and not play them, than have the game out and not even be able to play it. They can't sniff it. Okay, they can't sniff it. And they know deep down in their hearts that their games are going to be coming to the PlayStation. They know it. Like they all know it, so what is everyone bitching about now? Well, there was a handful of people bitching about Shadow of Colossus online. So, and it's not that it's out, it's that it came out and it got a real good score by Digital Foundry. And everybody that I've seen that's playing it is really enjoying it. And instead of the people just being happy with that, they bitch about it. It is what it is. So, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, what else is going on? I've got 8 messages. Well, the Capcom's laid off 30% of his workforce. So Xbox fans aren't intelligent people. Okay. Well, no, they're not. They're not. So, but they're a bunch of front row riders, So it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, but no, nobody's really bitching. You really think we care about Shadow Colossus? Yeah, I do, or else they wouldn't be complaining about it. You see Xbox guy? See how easy that was? Yes, I think they care about it. If not, why would they even comment on it? You don't have access to it, so don't worry about it. You can't play it. It's just like I don't expect people in the PlayStation community to mention Crackdown. Okay, because you don't have access to Crackdown, so don't worry about it. I mean, Crackdown if you hate it, that's fine. I liked the first Crackdown. I thought the second Crackdown was garbage, but I'm excited about the third Crackdown. It's on my like I said, it's on my Xbox 2016, 2017 game. The games that I'm excited for. So. So, but yeah, there's no reason to talk about Crackdown because you don't have access to it, so don't worry about it. So you can't play it anyway. So, well, it may have PS2 graphics, but that's fine. So the games can stay on Xbox. Yep, that's true. So, all right. So how's the Pro? All right. So it's not going to help it with super sampling. Okay. So. It's just like they were bitching about Persona 5 and Nier Automata. Well, why do you care about Nier Automata and Persona 5? It's not available to you. So why are you bitching about it? So yeah, now State of Decay sounds interesting. I think somebody said if you die in that game, you got to start all the way back from the beginning. So that intrigues me. Because that game is tactical. It's like, all right, you got to make some good tactical decisions now. So, do you think that EA and Xbox Game Pass would combine? Not right now. So, not right now. Well, EA's got a lot of games coming out next year, though, so we're gonna find out. So, yeah, PC beggar race as always. Oh, I mean, PC's got a lot more games. I mean, when I looked at Steam, I mean, there's a lot of games on Steam. I mean, PC's got a lot of real-time strategy games. That's the kind of stuff that I like to play. But that's me, though, and I'll be playing the Quantum Breaks and the Forzas and all that kind of stuff on my PC, So it's just, I can play. I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to play Forza on my PC. I'm going to have a good time with it. Well, Nier Automata, the one named Shadow, it's on PC. So, I mean, again, I don't know how it plays on PC, but it's on PC. So that's fine. So, but yeah, I don't mind being I don't mind being on PC, but I'm not going to beg for ports because PC's got really good games. So, You know, so I'm fine with that. So, you know, I can play PUBG. I'll be able to play PUBG at 1080p, 80 frames per second when my PC's done. That's fine. I'm happy with that. You know, so you know, Yakuza 6 coming out soon. I thought Yakuza 6 got delayed, but yeah, that's far if it comes out. Again, I've not played any Yakuza game yet. Not yet. So but after I beat Mass Effect Andromeda again, I promise you I'm gonna move to the Yakuza series. That's the that's the next series I'm gonna run to. So but I need an order on how to play them again. Do I have to play the Kiwami first? What's going on, Fatal? So so yeah, I think I need to play Yakuza Kiwami first. So you you know. But yeah, that was about it. You know, uh, now my throat now I'm clogging up. It's zero, then Kwame. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, the Xbox guy's getting upset. So yeah, but that's the real reason they're getting upset. Super sampling, we've done that. Rainbow Six Siege free this weekend. That's good. Shadow Colossus is getting rave reviews from both tech standpoint and a gaming standpoint. Call of Duty World War II DLC. I don't know anybody that's playing that, but it's out, I guess, now. Sony for sale was definitely a rumor. From my nose. So, and my commentary, yeah, I'm just kind of winding it down. So, but yeah, I understand the lack of access has driven them mad. It has driven them crazy. So, and because it's driven them crazy, that's why they're lashing out. And that's all there is to it. Yeah, Fatal. I was playing Mass Effect, and I did see the reason they left was because of the Reaper invasion, and actually how the Liara to Sony calls them and lets them know that a Reaper invasion is going on, and it looks pretty bad. So yeah, they tied that up, but it would have been nice if they had just made that the reason they were going in the first place, But yeah, that's cool. So that was cool to get that. So, but yeah, man, if are there any other questions? Yeah, and again, the Deadpool trailer did look lit, and I'll definitely be looking at that some more. And if not, man, I'm gonna. Yeah, the X does a little bit. Yeah, and it should there, Eric. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the X doing a little bit more. I mean, I don't know why that upsets the Xbox community when people say that. It should do a little bit more. It's like coming out a year later and it's more powerful. So so you know, yeah, you're upset. Then why are you in the comment section worrying about it? So will EA reboot Dead Space anytime soon? No, they will not. EA is concentrating on Dragon Age 4 and Anthem. Of course they're going to do Madden and stuff like that. So, well, there are some PlayStation guys. I wouldn't call it bashing it, but I mean, look, the Xbox guys were bashing Matt's Gaming for updating for doing a PS5 speculation thing. I mean, he was just kind of kicking the ballistics and speculating a little bit. And they were bashing him in his comment section. It's like, good grief. The guy is just, looking at it like, are they going to do a generational shift and then do a pro version of that, like a PS5 Pro? Or, it was a legit question that he was asking. And, people bash him in his own comment section. It's like, good grief, The Xbox X is very quiet, but so is the S. I mean, why is that a surprise? The Xbox One S was real quiet too. I don't know if you all knew that or not. So, and maybe you all didn't know. So, but the S is really quiet. So, the Xbox 360 Slim that came out, and I don't know if it was 2010 or 2011, that was real quiet too. So, Um, Halo Storm, the first person that hyped power again was Bill Gates. He hyped power first. Again, you don't know your history. At least do yourself a favor at the bare minimum and know the history of the console. It was Bill Gates that came out and said the extra power and the extra memory will allow the Xbox to do things that the PlayStation would not be able to do. He was correct. Okay. I specifically have said that I specifically remember Grand Theft Auto Vice City running on the Xbox, the original Xbox, and it looked a hell of a lot better. It was smoother. It was a softer look. It was no load time on the screen. You just it did. You know, that was the same game, and it was a year later. But graphically, that was the first person that touted power. So when PlayStation did PlayStation 3, they were like, we're not going to get caught behind the power curve again. They came out with the more powerful console. But the Xbox 360 was cheaper, and that's what people bought. And I still don't understand why you don't know that history. Okay? I mean, I don't understand that. The PS3 was more powerful than the Xbox 360, but the Xbox 360 was cheaper, and guess what people bought? That's just the reality. Yeah, the original Xbox, you could play, it would play regular CDs just like the PlayStation 2 did, but graphically and power-wise, it wasn't even a match. I mean, the Xbox ran circles around the PS2. Circles. Well, it doesn't matter about this gen when it's okay. You just brought up this gen. Again, Sony did to them what Bill Gates did to Sony in the previous gen. Okay. So, and that's it's good grief, man. Stop being stupid. You know, you know. Yeah, just go ahead and get you a PlayStation and enjoy the games, enjoy the greatness. Play Gran Turismo, play Horizon Zero Dawn. Just enjoy it, you know. So, well, only if you sub to me, Best Kills. Well, Savage, they can see the difference in Xbox S and Pro. I mean, it's terrible. You know, it's a terrible difference. So, I mean, that's a huge difference. I mean, they were even talking about the Xbox S version of Monster Hunter, and they just flat said it's lacking because it's garbage, garbage. So, shout out to my boy Jody at Jody's Corner. He's got his Deadpool 2 reaction up there. So, yeah. Well, I mean, Savage again. This is the same guys who were saying that the Pro couldn't do native 4K. They also said that they couldn't tell the difference in 720p and 1080p. I mean, it just I mean, they were doing it because the people who were in that ecosystem were feeling a certain sort of way about everything. I mean, it's just a reality. It's a reality, and people got to move on. So, you're digging the Horizon 3? Yeah, I enjoyed Horizon 3. So, you know, and I'll be getting Horizon 4 on Game Pass. I mean, I can't wait to play that on Game Pass. So, you know, there's a bitch in the X and the Pro. Well, I mean, look, Spartan God, what else were they going to say? Okay, what else are they going to say? Like they don't care that the Xbox X is out a year later. Like they don't even care about that. So that's why it's funny that they're losing NPD. I did not time anybody out. So so yeah, Spartan God, I wouldn't worry about it. So yes, uncompetitive. That is true. Yeah. Yeah, Rapid Pack Math, that's AMD, right? So and yeah, the PlayStation's gonna have Rapid Pack Math and Xbox will never have that. So but again, it's not it's kind of a like I said, you're beating a dead horse. The console thing is over with. So um this it is what it is. So yeah. But I've been there almost an hour and a half. So well, I don't know how you ended up blocked, Spartan God, but you're back now. But I don't remember. I don't even know how that. Remember, I was like, I don't even know how that happened. I had to look up how to unblock somebody. So, so well, yeah, but it's still 4.2 teraflops. But yeah, I guess it could do some things a little bit different. So, fatal, not a big deal. You didn't miss a heck of a whole lot. I want to get back on Monster Hunter, but nobody is playing. Like I need some help to get myself up to that Watcher mission because that Watcher mission, I didn't know Jessica Jones had a little trailer. I'm at to watch all that. I'm getting behind. So so it's good to see Black Panther is getting praised. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things, and we're gonna be talking about it tonight on Triple Cup Chuck's podcast. So, but I'm only going to be able to be on there for like 30 minutes because I got to work tomorrow. Yeah, I'll get back on Monster Hunter. I will. So, so yeah. Well, see, the AMD 486 can do basic VR if you are interested in putting that on your PC. Well, I didn't know there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trailer. Yes, I got to get all that. Now, the Deadpool trailer I saw, but I didn't know about Jessica Jones getting a trailer either. My goodness gracious, Marvel just cranking that stuff out. So yeah, yeah, and I'll jump back on. Like I said, I'm gonna get back on my Xbox next month. A matter of fact, I'll be back on my Xbox in about another week and a half. So, but I gotta I gotta reinstitutionalize it because I've not played it in weeks. So just sitting in the box. I did see the Solo trailer. Yeah, I like both Solo trailers. Yeah, Xbox does not have exclusives. That's right. So I'm Black Panther. That's next Saturday. That's the 17th. I will be there. A matter of fact, that entire Saturday, I'm spending that whole day at the cinema. Like I said, I'm going at 1:30 to the movie tavern. Then we're gonna go. I'm meeting some friends at the 5 o'clock showing at a Cinemark. And then the 18th, I'm going back. Um, I'm going to another theater. I'm gonna go watch it in IMAX on the 18th. So I do not know how is Black Panther a social justice warrior film when it's the 20th movie in the MCU. So it makes no sense for it to be a social justice movie. So Ant-Man and Wasp does look good. I did like that trailer. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp looks like it looks pretty cool, yeah. But Ant-Man was cool. I like that movie too. So I didn't like that part when that ant got big and it was in their house. I thought that was stupid. But yeah, I know. Great point, Tuda. Yeah, a character that was established back in 1965 as social justice warrior, and they're making a movie about it. I mean, it's I don't think yeah, that's stupid. So Xbox, the next Netflix. Yeah, you're right. Yep, that's exactly what they're going for. And I got no problem with it because I'll never buy another Xbox game again. So I've got my Mass Effect games on there, and that's it. I'm good. I double dipped on Andromeda, and then I've got Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, and I'm good. That's it. So I got 4 Xbox games. So yep, Redbox 1. So yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, those tickets will probably go on sale in, I want to say those is probably going on sale at the end of March. So how is this movie established? The characters established, Spartan God. When's the last time y'all look? Everybody knows about it. Look, if you follow Marvel's comic books, the 3 smartest people in the Marvel universe is Reed Richards, Tony Stark, and T'Challa. They're the 3 smartest guys. And then there's a step down, and you get Bruce Banner, you get Beast from X-Men. Okay, they're on the same line too. So Eric Lecter, aka Magneto, he's very smart. So it's but he's on that second tier line. So yeah, Avengers looking pretty good. What's going on, Trey BK? So so yeah. So yeah, I know my Marvel characters. So no, hell no. Spider-Man's a kid. And he's so, and Shuri of Wakanda is smarter than Spider-Man. Spider-Man is, Peter Parker is very smart though. But nah, fam. So nah, John. So you don't know the origin of a character. So yeah. Yeah. I think he's under the impression that they put this movie in production, and it's kind of like they've been talking about this movie since the 90s with Wesley Snipes, but Wesley Snipes decided to do Blade. They did Blade instead, so and Blade did well. So you know the origin, and why would you claim it's so SJW if you either know the origins, and so your SJW comment was stupid, so or you don't know the origins, and therefore that makes it more ignorant than stupid. So yeah, Blade was awesome. Yeah. Black women plan on boycott. That is true, Andrew, but that boycott has failed because Black Panther is going to have one of the biggest opening weekends in history. It's threatening Deadpool opening weekend. Remember, for origin stories, let me make this clear, for an origin story. So it's threatening that. So Blade led to Deadpool. I don't see the connection, but okay. Yeah, but you're right about that, Andrew. There were some Black women that were going to, which is fine. They can boycott it. I mean, people are going to still go see it. I'm going to go see it 3 times, so I'm good. So I can care less what those sisters are doing over there. So to go after Deadpool because of his performance in Blade. Yeah, and his Deadpool performance in X-Men Wolverine was horrible. So Latina's got, well, I'll take your word for it. Okay. So yeah, those Black women that plan on boycotting the movie, yeah, they're dumb. Yeah. But again, they can boycott all they want. I'm gonna go see it 3 times. Not 1, not 2, but 3 times. Opening weekend, and then I'm gonna take a break from it. Then I'm gonna go back and see it again on the 24th. So I'm good. So, so I thought X-Men Wolverine was okay. I've liked the Wolverine movies. I thought they've been uneven, but I even liked the one where he was in Japan. I like that one. I thought that was pretty good too. So, I don't like baked beans either, so it doesn't matter where they come from. I'll be changing my mods in 2 more weeks. Okay. Those mods will change again in 2 more weeks. So, so, so you've been watching in Illinois? Cool. Black Panther will not make more money than The Last Jedi. So, Last Jedi made $1.3 billion. So, but Black Panther will do well. It should make the same amount of money as a Doctor Strange or an Ant-Man because that's the line that it's on. So, I've liked the sequel Star Wars movies. So, well, because I don't like baked beans. Yeah, I don't. I'm old school. I don't like baked beans. So. Oh well, Switch gets Ridge Racer, then I'll. That's another reason for me to have the Switch. I love the Ridge Racer games. So, I don't know who timed him out. Honestly, you thinking to make 2 billion? That's a lot of money. That means that it's going to have to do over. It'd have to do over. Ah man, that's a lot. Gee whiz. So I don't know who timed him out. It could have been an accident. So I mean, I know I didn't. I haven't timed anybody out today. So I know it's not me. So Kaiser, I must have stolen Ridge Racer 8. Worldwide box over, you're predicting 2 billion. Okay, that means just all right, opening weekend alone, it would have to do over 190 million in the United States, and it's tracking at 124 million. So where are you getting the other 60 million from in the United States? So out, the Last Jedi flopped in China. Okay. Well, The Last Jedi, it overperformed in the United States. Okay. It made $1.3 billion and it was only supposed to do like 1.1. So yeah. Yeah, I agree, John. I don't think it's going to get 2 billion. It's not tracking for 2 billion. So it's tracking at a total run is tracking at about 621 million, which is very good. Let me make that clear. Very good. So you want a sequel to Warcraft? Okay. Yeah, well, it actually has a chance to do okay in China because Chadwick Boseman got the top award in China. I don't know how he did that. So yeah, yeah. I'm about to say Cass Arai. He still works at Sony. Thanks, Corey. So Warcraft movie was trash. I didn't watch it. So Metro Exodus will target 4K. Well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's you know I don't know why that's news, but okay. Uh, yeah, Chadwick Boseman is known. Yeah, I mean, I like Chadwick, but I like the movie. I've seen him in 2 movies. So Get On Up and 41, 42. I'm sorry. So yeah. But all right, guys, it's 1:36. I'm gonna get on up out of here. I gotta make a. I think I have to run anywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run and get something to eat. Um, so yeah. Well, maybe he does remote viewing. I don't know there, Tudor. So I don't see that happening. All right, but we'll have to wait and see on competitive. I don't see that happening at all. I don't think it's going to get close to The Last Jedi. The only movie that's going to get close to The Last Jedi is the Avengers movie, and that's another Marvel, that's a Disney property. So, yeah, you do realize Chadwick Boseman is 41 years old. He'll be 42 in a few more months. So yeah, Game of Thrones writers did get a deal. Yeah. Black Panther is not going to flop. It's already made its money back. So yeah, the franchise, yeah, they do got a lot of franchises, but that's what, remember, Disney started franchising stuff years ago. So yeah, but I did see that Sunny in VR. It's a good point. A lot of people don't know that. So if you don't know, the Game of Thrones direct writers got got they're going to do some Star Wars movies, but they're not going to start that till 2020. So, but all right, guys, I'm going to bounce out of here like a check. So, meaningless sex scenes. That's not being confirmed. So, although Ray is going to have to deal with some jealousy over Finn, because Finn and Rose is going to, that relationship is going to get close. They're going to get closer together, and Ray's going to feel jealous. So Activision working on a new IP. Okay, that's fine. So no, Star Wars won't be R-rated. So, and there's children in Star Wars, so people are having sex. So yeah, but guys, I'm gonna bounce out of here while it's still 30 degrees, and it's my car will start because I have an older car. But guys, I appreciate you being here. Check us out later on 60 Frames No Lag. And if you want to hear more about Black Panther and some superhero talk, man, I didn't realize Jessica Jones. Thanks for the Jessica Jones thing. I did not know that had premiered. So, but yeah, I'll be on. I'm gonna try to jump on Triple Cup Chuck's podcast for at least a half hour, 11 to 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. So, but I'm gonna get on up out of here, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining me. Go out there and play the games, and I gotta get back on Monster Hunter before that Watcher quest leaves. All right, then, guys, take it easy. Peace.